All right, here we go. So this is 5-minute workshops. We're gonna go through fat today. The skinny on fat is what we're gonna call this. And the question here today is, will fat make me fat? You know, and hopefully most people that have been in our office or really been around our teachings understand that fat is not gonna make you fat, okay? That there's different forms of fat. There's trans fats and then there's healthy fats. Trans fats are not good fats, healthy fats are good fats, and your body needs clean, healthy fats to burn for its fuel source. I mean, that's the whole purpose behind like a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet, is that now I'm burning fat sources as my fuel and I'm not burning sugary sources. And that's gonna be using glycolysis, so using glucose as the energy when we're eating the standard North American diet and it's loaded with sugar. So I want you to understand that fat will not make you fat. There's a difference between saturated fat and adipose tissue, which is in our bodies, that's the fat around our skin, that we kind of put these two things synonymous together, that fat in our diet is gonna immediately go into our body and make us, get fat. And that's just not the truth. Fat in your diet is going to now allow you to have a fuel source that's not sugar. It's gonna help reduce inflammation. So fat really needs to be your primary source of fuel. But a lot of people are very confused about this, and there's reason for it. I mean, so the reason we all believe this is mainly by the research of Dr. Ansel Keys. And so what he did was he studied 22 countries. And so he had 22 countries, and like any other research, they're gonna only give you the studies that generate the response that they wanted, right? The outcome that they wanted is the only things that they're gonna produce. All medical research is like this because it's funded by big pharma. It has agendas behind it. They're trying to get research to prove a certain point, okay? But the problem is they do all this other research that doesn't prove these points, and it'll prove the exact opposite of that. But yet, you still only hear about the stuff that proved the point that they wanted you to hear about. And it was no different in this research. He researched 22 countries, and he was trying to link saturated fat and heart disease, okay? 7 of the countries, they had an association between these two. But the other 15 countries had no association, exactly the opposite effect, that saturated fat and heart disease were not correlated, and in some aspects, saturated fat was protecting you from heart disease and cholesterol issues and all these other things. But the 7 studies that he used and that he produced for the public to see, and for every doctor and every lay person that saw it, was saying that saturated fat was increasing your risk of heart disease. But it's been debunked. It's just not, that's not true. So we have to understand that we have to look at this as, think about this. If I go to a farmer and I say, we need to fatten up your livestock, we need your cattle to get bigger, and I say, we're gonna feed them avocados, suet, lard, fatty tissue, oil, like coconut oils and we're gonna feed them all of this stuff and we're gonna get them fatter. What's that farmer gonna say? He's gonna laugh. He's gonna be like, there's no way that that's gonna fatten my livestock up. It's just not gonna do it. So what are they gonna do to fatten their livestock up? We know that they feed them corn, they feed them soy, they feed them grains. They inject them with antibiotics and all these other things. I mean, those are the things that are gonna fatten them up, is starches and carbohydrates. Fat that you give an animal is not gonna fatten them up. Okay, so we have to understand that same principle happens in our own bodies. You're not gonna get fat because you eat fat. So enjoy fats. There is a difference between clean fats and not so clean fats. So I want you to take home this, is that trans fats and like canola oil, vegetable oils, soy oils, these things are not good for you. Fried foods, those kind of fats, those are horrible for you. You shouldn't be eating those. But what are clean fats? What are things that we should be eating? You have your avocado oil, your coconut oil, your olive oil. You have avocados, coconut products. You have just regular olives. You have tallow, butter. You can use heavy whipping cream, organic, obviously, with all of this stuff. Just animal fat. Those are the things that your body needs to use as its fuel source, and that's the whole purpose behind like a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet or something. You're able to use fat as the fuel source. So please disregard this whole notion that fat is going to make me fat. It just isn't. It's just not true. So